I never believed in anything paranormal. Ghosts, spirits, all of that. I always thought there was a logical explanation. But after that night, I don't even like looking at my ceiling anymore. This happened about 3 years ago. I had just moved into an old rental house in a quiet neighborhood. The place was cheap, and at the time I didn't have the luxury of asking too many questions. It was a 2-story house. I lived on the ground floor, and the entire upstairs was locked and off limits. The landlord was very clear about one thing: don't go upstairs. It's under maintenance. I didn't think much of it. I figured it was just storage. Or maybe he didn't want tenants snooping around. The first few days were completely normal. But on the 4th night, at around 2 a.m., I woke up suddenly. No reason, no sound, just awake. The room was dead silent. And then tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the ceiling, like someone was walking upstairs. I froze. My first thought was probably a cat, but then it happened again. Tap, 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 tap. This time it sounded deliberate, like slow footsteps, moving in a straight line, back and forth. My heartbeat started picking up. I tried to calm myself down. It's an old house. Wood expands, contracts, makes noise. That's what I told myself. I turned over, trying to go back to sleep. And then, thump, directly above my head. I opened my eyes instantly. Then again, thump, 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 like someone was standing right above me, stomping on the floor on purpose. At this point, I was scared. I stared up at the ceiling. Nothing. Just silence. But the footsteps didn't stop. The next morning, I called the landlord. I asked him straight up, "Does anyone live upstairs?" There was a pause, a long one. Then he said, "No, nobody lives there." I told him about the noises. He cut me off. "It's an old house. That's normal. Don't worry about it." His tone felt off, but I let it go. That night, I decided to test something. Before going to bed, I set my phone on the nightstand, camera facing the ceiling, recording. If something was up there, I wanted proof. At exactly 1:47 a.m., I woke up again, this time before the noise even started. The room felt colder, heavier, like the air itself had changed. And then, tap, tap, tap. The footsteps were back, but this time, they slowly moved until they stopped directly above my bed. Silence. Complete silence. I could hear my own breathing. Then, scritch. A faint scratching sound coming from the ceiling, like something was trying to get through. My body went completely numb. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. And then, something happened that I still can't explain. A dark spot started forming on the ceiling. At first, it was small, barely noticeable, but then it started spreading, slowly, like a wet stain bleeding through the surface. But it wasn't water. It looked wrong. And then, right in the center of that dark patch, finger-shaped impressions started pressing outward, like something on the other side was placing its hands against the ceiling, trying to push through, trying to look down at me. I shut my eyes tight. I didn't want to see it anymore. I didn't want to know what was up there. And then, right next to my ear, in a voice so quiet I almost thought I imagined it. "Why are you down there?" I jumped up, turned on the lights. The room was empty. The ceiling was clean. No stain, no marks, nothing, like it never happened. But the real horror was just beginning, because when I picked up my phone and watched the recording from that night, there was something on it, something I still haven't shown anyone. I didn't want to watch the recording. Something in my gut was telling me, just delete it. Forget this ever happened. But curiosity always wins. My hands were shaking as I opened the video. The timestamp read 1:42 a.m. At first, nothing. Just me lying in bed. The ceiling. Silence. Then, 1:47 a.m., right when I woke up, the footsteps started. Even through the recording, I could hear them clearly. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, controlled, intentional. But what terrified me wasn't the sound. It was what I saw. The ceiling wasn't still. At first, it was subtle, like the surface was breathing, a slight inward and outward movement, almost unnoticeable unless you were really looking for it. Then it got worse. The camera captured the exact moment. That dark stain began to spread. Only this time, it looked even more unnatural. Thicker, darker, like something alive was pressing against it from above. And then, the fingers appeared, clear as day. Not shadows, not illusions. Actual indentations pushing into the ceiling. 5 long, unnatural fingers. Too thin, too long, and bending in ways that didn't look human. I paused the video. My chest felt tight. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears, but something told me, keep watching. I hit play again, and that's when everything changed. Because in the video, I was still lying in bed, eyes closed, not moving, but at the exact same moment, the camera caught something else, something that still doesn't make sense. A second shape right next to me. At first, it looked like a shadow, darker than the rest of the room, but then it shifted, and I realized it wasn't a shadow. It was something lying beside me, perfectly still, perfectly silent, just inches away from my face. I couldn't breathe. I slowly leaned closer to the screen, trying to make out what I was seeing. And then it moved. Its head tilted, slightly toward me, too slowly, too smoothly, like something learning how to move for the first time. And that's when I saw its face. I wish I hadn't. It didn't have eyes, not normal ones, just 2 deep, hollow indentations, darker than anything else in the room, and its mouth was stretched too wide, not in a smile, not in anything human, just open. I dropped my phone. It hit the floor with a loud crack. For a few seconds, I just sat there, frozen, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But then I remembered something that made my blood run cold. That whisper, "Why are you down there? Down there?" Not, "Why are you here?" Not, "Who are you?" "Why are you down there?" Like I wasn't supposed to be on the ground floor. Like I was supposed to be upstairs. I grabbed my phone again. My hands were trembling so bad I almost dropped it. I skipped ahead in the video, and what I saw next is the reason I left that house the same day. At exactly 1:52 a.m., the thing lying next to me sat up, but not like a person. Its body didn't rise normally. It bent in the wrong direction, like its spine didn't exist, like it was just folding itself upward. And then it turned and looked directly into the camera. Not at me, at the camera, like it knew it was being recorded. And slowly, very slowly, it started to crawl, not toward the door, not toward the window, toward the ceiling. Its hands gripped the wall, and it began climbing, upside down, like gravity didn't apply to it. In seconds, it reached the ceiling, right where those fingers had appeared. And then, without a sound, it pushed itself inside. Its body sank into the ceiling, like it was never solid to begin with. The stain disappeared, the movement stopped, and the room went completely still. I couldn't think. I couldn't process what I had just seen. I didn't pack properly. I didn't call anyone. I just grabbed my keys and left. I never went back. A week later, I got a call from the landlord. He sounded nervous. He asked me one question. "Did you go upstairs?" I told him no. There was silence on the phone. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Good, because whoever goes up there doesn't stay down here for long." He hung up. I never asked questions after that, but sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still hear it. Tap, tap, coming from above me. Even when I'm not in that house anymore. I tried to move on. New apartment, new city, new routine. I told myself it was over, that whatever happened in that house stayed in that house. For a while, it worked. No sounds, no nightmares, no shadows, just silence, normal life. Until one night, about 3 weeks later, I was lying in bed, scrolling on my phone, half asleep, half distracted. And then, without warning, a notification popped up. Storage almost full. That didn't make sense. I had barely used my phone since moving, so I opened my gallery, scrolled through my videos, and that's when my stomach dropped. A new video file was there. Timestamp, 2:13 a.m. last night. I didn't remember recording anything. I didn't even wake up at that time, but the file was there. My hands started shaking again. Same feeling, same dread. Slowly, I tapped on the video. The screen opened. Dark room. My new room. The camera angle was facing my bed, but I hadn't set it up like that, which meant only one thing. Something else had. I felt a cold chill run down my spine. In the video, I was asleep, lying on my side, not moving. And then, from the top corner of the frame, something appeared. A hand. Long, thin, wrong. It slowly crept down the wall, moving the same way I saw before, upside down, clinging to the surface like it didn't belong to this world. Then another hand, then its head, and finally, its entire body. It was back. The same thing, the same hollow face, the same stretched mouth. But this time, it wasn't hiding. It crawled across the wall and stopped directly above me, watching, not moving, not blinking, just watching me sleep for almost a full minute. And then, slowly, it began to lower itself, not jumping, not falling, lowering, like it was being pulled down by something unseen, until its face was inches away from mine. I couldn't breathe just watching it. And then, in the video, my sleeping body smiled. A slow, unnatural, wide smile. Not something I would ever do. And then, without opening my eyes, I whispered something. The audio was faint, distorted, so I turned the volume all the way up, held the phone closer, and listened. What I heard still doesn't let me sleep. I tried to stay downstairs, a pause, but it wanted me upstairs. I dropped the phone again. My whole body went cold, because in that moment, I understood something I had been avoiding this entire time. It didn't come from the upstairs. It was trying to take me there. And maybe it already had. I don't remember recording that video. I don't remember waking up. I don't remember smiling. But the file doesn't lie. And the worst part? That wasn't the only video. There are more. Each night, a new one appears. Sometimes it's standing in the corner. Sometimes it's right above me. And last night, it wasn't alone. I haven't watched the full video yet. I don't know if I want to, because I'm starting to realize something I don't think I can stop. Every night, it gets closer. Every night, I move less, and soon, I don't think I'll be down here anymore. If you're hearing this, reading this, and you ever hear footsteps above you, don't ignore it. Don't record it. And whatever you do, don't let it know you're there. Because once it does, it won't stop until you're upstairs.